It's poo. Oh, wait, it's Packer Outright Opinions. The Packer Outright Opinions Wednesday night opinions after another loss. How many losses can we get in one season, Ben? How many predictable things can the Packers do that will cause them to lose? And then just not fix. I don't get it, right? That's what we're just talking about. That's why we're so frustrated.
Well, I can predict something this weekend coming up. If Aaron Rodgers is starting, they're going to lose.
Oh, come on.
I can tell you that.
Come on. He was playing all right for a while there.
Was he?
Well,
Was
not
he?
really. He made some more he made better throws than he has for certain, like more times in a game than he has all season. I'll say that.
Okay, well, he also threw 2 picks. And I don't care that Davis ran the wrong route. If he would look at the freaking defense, he could see that the safety, rookie safety who never played before in his life, who looked like he was playing deep middle safety, jumped the gun and read it, saw it, took off. Yeah. Like he was running forever. Rodgers never looked at him, never saw him.
He certainly wasn't backing up. So why are you throwing it there, man?
He doesn't read. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for years.
I know.
He does not read defenses after the ball is snapped. He has no idea what's going on. Otherwise, he'd have guys open all the time. And I should have put, there was one video I wanted to put together that showed Jordan Love, but Matt LaFleur talked about it at his press conference.
David.
But I'll play that sound later. I got one thing I want to play some sound.
All right.
Sounds later on when we start talking about Jordan Love, if that ever happens. But when it comes to this guy, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. It's done. I'm done. I am done. I hate him. I hate him as a person. So if you can't play on the field, if you're no longer good on the field, I'm done. I don't want this guy on the team. Take your $50 million a year, take your $150 million and go away and be a rich asshole someplace else. Go back to California where you belong. That's where the assholes live. Go there. In the Midwest, in Wisconsin, and we want nice guys around here. We don't want dick face, jerk face, butt monkey, ass munches. Okay? Parental advisories are in effect.
What do you think about what David says here? I mean, that was there. We're very frustrated.
You're right, David. You're exactly right.
You know,
that's the same pass. That's the same pass, the same play to Allen Lazard last week when he overshot Allen Lazard. It's the exact same play. Then the reason why he overshot Allen Lazard last week? Because he threw it late. And when he threw it late, he had to throw it over the top of the defender, and he threw it too high. Jordan Love threw it in rhythm on time to the guy as he's moving forward, going really fast. And the guy actually kind of double clutched it, to be honest. It was Christian Watson. He's not the greatest hands in the world, but he eventually got it and then took off.
He gets it. Watch out. Did anyone else expect him to actually score on that play when you first caught it? You did?
Yes.
You thought he was going to run away from all those guys?
He caught it in freaking stride. That's what happens. See, here's the thing that bothers me more than anything. All these Packer fans seem to think that Aaron Rodgers is so great because he can make these pinpoint accurate passes 40 yards down the field when a guy is, on the side, along the sideline where he catches it and tiptoes out of bounds. That's great. If you want a 40-yard gain, then you still have another play you have to do, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 to score a touchdown. But you know what else works? When you hit a guy in stride on a 20-yard crossing route and he takes it to the damn house on a much easier pass.
Yep.
And you let the guy who's got super speed take it all the way. I mean, that's what every other team does. That's good. How dumb are these fans? And how dumb is Rodgers? Let's make it 7 times harder than it has to be by me throwing a perfect pass, 45 yards to the sideline, in between I have like a millisecond or millimeter of space I have to get the ball into, 40 yards downfield, and then after the guy catches it, he's got nowhere to go. Or you can throw a 10-yard slant, and because of the out route by Allen Lazard taking the corner all the way across to the inside, boom, gone, boom, awesome. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's why, people. That's why I can't take it anymore.
And that's why I back you up. If Jordan Love had been starting this whole time, ask yourself this question as a Packer fan.
At least since the injury and his thumb injury in London. Had Jordan Love been starting the week after that,
would the Packers have more victories than 4?
Oh, they'd have at least 4 more, maybe 3 more,
Now,
maybe 4 more, somewhere in there.
Part of it is, I mean, Ben is showing you, of course, Rodgers has missed throws, quite a few of them, but also he's been jumpy in the pocket. He's been late on his first read and then getting jumpy in the pocket. And on top of that, he's made a lot of bad decisions. We showed you how many times last week where you showed plays where there were 3 guys that were good options and 1 guy that was a bad option, and he threw to the bad option, right? He picked like the worst option on the play to throw to. Those are decisions that he made. That was not the design of the play. And then even Kurt Warner and other people who analyzed this game and went back through it were like, well, he's got him here. I'm not sure why Aaron came off it right away, but he came off it, and now he's looking over here. So he gives up on certain things too fast. And what causes that? Number one, if you've got a quarterback's coach with all this experience, he should be calling that stuff out and correcting it. The head coach should be correcting it. Like the guy has to be coachable in order to get the corrections done, though, right? He has to think that he is coachable and be open to coaching. And apparently he's not, number one. Number two, and Jordan Love is, okay? And so you can say Aaron Rodgers is and should be a better quarterback than Jordan Love. I'm not going to say that's wrong, but if Jordan Love had been playing the last several weeks, the Packers would have played offense differently. They would have run the ball more. They would have featured the running game. They would have done more play action off of the running game instead of doing that some games and other games just doing spread and empty sets and throwing it twice as much as they ran it. And so that's why we say they would have won more games with Jordan Love in there versus Aaron Rodgers. And that's why. It's not just the quality of the quarterback playing, it's the fact that the team and the offense would have operated differently. And that's what everybody is so afraid of, right? Everybody's so afraid of the change, Ben. Everybody, for how long? Well, just wait till he's gone. Oh, then we're going to all we're going to be in for it. No, it doesn't. We've said it for a while. Will it be different? Yes. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be good. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad. That doesn't mean we're going to be the Bears or we're going to be the Lions forever or whoever, the Vikings with all their terrible quarterbacks. It doesn't mean that, okay? You just play a little different style. And I think at this point, we're all kind of sick of this style because how is this? Let's examine how this style got started. Here, we got some people here real quick. Okay, Bill is in the house. Billy Wayne says, I agree. 100%. Thank you, Billy Wayne, Packer fan, 1993. I'm sick of hearing fans say we need Rodgers to play for a chance at a playoff spot. No, that's not true either. Look, we just need to win games. And is Aaron Rodgers winning games? No. He's
lost 7 of the last 8 games with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, people. I don't understand.
And not only that, but he's had key mistakes. And he had key mistakes in this game too. And we'll go back over that. Because of all the rushing yards and everybody going on and on and on about how bad the rushing yard, and it was bad. Don't get me wrong. It was bad.
Oh, dude.
But there were key times and a couple of key sequences here. And then everybody forgot about the negative impact of those 2 first half interceptions. And they were bad. They were bad because one set up the Eagles at the 29-yard line of the Packers. Their first offensive possession, the third offensive play of the game. After they gained 6 yards rushing on second down through an incomplete pass and first down, went for 6 yards second down run for Aaron Jones, and then threw a pick and turned it over to the Eagles at the 29-yard line. So that set them up for an easy score. And then the other one was in the red zone when all he had to do was read the defense like you're talking about, and you don't throw that interception, and he took points off the board there too. So he gave the Eagles points and took points off the board for the Packers in a 7-point final score. Okay, game was decided by 7 points. So don't forget those things. Those are huge, huge turnover mistakes in this game.
Here's the thing that just drives me up a wall. I've had to listen all year, okay, about Amari Rodgers costing the Packers because of his turnovers, his fumbles on punt returns, his muff punts, his other dumb stuff, okay? And this year he had I think he had 3 or 4 fumbles, right? Maybe 5 at the moment. I can't remember. I think he's had 7 over the last 2 years during punt returns.
Yeah, I think he lost 2 and he had 2 that went out of bounds this year or something like that. Or lost 3 and had 2 that went out of bounds.
I think he lost 3 and had 2 out of bounds, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But that's 3 times that he cost the Packers. And I think only once did it actually lead into a score, maybe, or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But I can name a whole bunch of times Aaron Rodgers threw pick, took a sack on 3rd down when you're in the field goal range.
Too. Yeah.
In field goal range and hold the ball too long and not notice there's a guy coming and you've been holding the ball forever. Like, just throw the damn fucking ball away so you can kick a freaking field goal. I mean, I know it's Mason Crosby and he sucks, but there's a better chance of him kicking the damn field goal than you freaking getting away from guys, because guess what? You can't get away from anybody anymore.
That's true.
It's nothing new. But the fans freak out about that when he's throwing picks left and right and freaking taking sacks all over the dumb place because he's holding the ball too damn long. Nobody freaks out about that and says he needs to be cut. I don't give a crap. You know what the worst thing that can ever happen to a franchise? The worst thing is to have a quarterback win a Super Bowl when they're young. Win one Super Bowl when they're young. Because then after that, every fan who doesn't know jack crap about football, who doesn't know how to watch games, doesn't know how to freaking understand what the hell's going on out there, thinks it's all the freaking quarterback. Every time. And you watch Brett Favre, who got to be a Packer for freaking 10 more years after that damn Super Bowl, even though he threw 25,000 picks, did stupid crap all the damn time, never got blamed.
You get a big, yeah.
The same shit happens with Rodgers. He wins a Super Bowl right away after his 3rd year starter. Same crap. He's been living off that Super Bowl all this time. Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl. He didn't even do anything. Yeah, he got handed a Super Bowl by the refs. And then he got the second one against Kurt Warner, which was also bullcrap because there's only 1 foot down, not 2 feet down on that touchdown at the end of the game. I'll go to my grave saying that. I'll say that right now. Santonio Holmes got 1 foot, not 2 feet, 1 foot. But that's besides the point. Ben Roethlisberger lived off that Super Bowl forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same crap. How does this happen? But yet a guy like, I don't know, Matt Hasselbeck, who's a great freaking quarterback, got screwed by the refs in the Super Bowl, and people just forget about him.
Yeah, right.
His team gives up on him and drafts Russell Wilson and signs Matt Flynn and says, "See you later, Matt Hasselbeck," even though you're way better than these 2 scrubs. And that's the truth. Russell Wilson sucks. Freaking Matthew, whatever.
Does Russell Wilson still have like less than 10 touchdowns? He doesn't even have 10 touchdowns yet on the year. Wow, that's bad. That's bad.
But anyways, what I'm saying is this, and then also people have been bringing up. And I'm sorry, I'm taking over him yelling, but
that's all right.
They bring up, Brett Favre, he played through the injuries, and blah, blah, blah. When Brett Favre played through the injuries, the Packers lost. Do people not remember? They didn't make the playoffs a couple years there in the beginning of the 2000s because he was hurt and he played like shit and he threw a bunch of picks and he sucked. Oh, wow. That sounds familiar. 7 out of 8 games we've lost because our quarterback has got a bum thumb. I'm pretty sure you need a thumb to hold on to the ball to throw it properly. I don't know. I'm not even that smart. But he cost us games. 7 out of the last games we've lost. And you can't tell me that for sure we would have. I mean, the Lions game, that was all him.
Yeah.
The Jets game, a little bit. Washington, a lot him. Titans, all him. Not all him, but a lot of it was him. We had a chance at that game too.
Yeah, we had a chance at all these games. I mean, the Packers were in all of these games. That's the crazy part.
Right, but nobody is and people still think that, well, as long as we got a chance, we have a 2% chance to make the playoffs. We need Aaron Rodgers out there. No, we don't. No.
You need to play.
Matter of fact, if we had Jordan Love out there, I'd be more worried about winning games then, you idiots. Put frickin' Rodgers back out there so we can lose a bunch more games and then get a higher draft pick. Fine. All right, I'm sorry for yelling and take it over.
No, look, the thing is, you have to. The Packers have not been playing to their winning formula, and we've talked about this time and time again. I don't know how many times hopefully more people are getting it. More people are jumping in here. Hopefully some of you are new. You already know this. If you don't, the thing that has been evident is a bunch of these games that the Packers have lost. They've passed the ball more than twice as much as they run it. And that's a simple formula for losing for the Green Bay Packers. And when they've run the ball, when they've been more balanced, or they've actually run it more than they passed it, they've won like almost all those games this year. So they've won like 4 out of those 5 games. So,
you know,
it's not that hard, but when you have a quarterback who has all the latitude and all the power and can do whatever he wants. And oftentimes, and it's been reported, and guys have even said it by accidentally in the media, how they've never seen anything like it, where the guy just calls whatever the hell he wants. Wow. I mean, even Mercedes, remember Mercedes Lewis after his first year with the Packers, and he was on Colin Cowherd. And then he was at, because Cowherd likes to dig at Rodgers and find out the dirt. And he asked him, and Mercedes even came out and said, he's like, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, just get out there and he'll just change it to whatever he wants. And man, just never seen anything like it. Oh, but he's so good at it. Yeah. So good at it, though. It's so good. It's okay. Well, when it's not okay is when you're losing games and you're not scoring points and it's not working, or you're turning the ball over and being a dum-dum. But let's catch up on a couple of things. And then I'm going to go back, Ben, to let's play a little game of history. We'll go with a little historical overview because we have to get to the root of how this happened and the root of what's all happened here with Aaron Rodgers. But first off, we got to say thanks to David, Billy Wayne, Packer fan 1993, Zero for being here. Saying it ain't over till it's over. Zero, the always positive Zero is in the house.
Zero. Let's see. What the crap, dude? This guy beats this team. This beat. Okay, if this team beats,
it's true though.
This team, and this team beats.
All
this
you
got to
get
that team beats that team, and then that team. And if this team beats this team, and then if we win all the games left with a quarterback who sucks, oh yeah, no, and our defense can't stop the run. Guess what? People are gonna run all over us now for sure. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they can make adjustments to stop the run. If they have to learn. Like I don't. Let's not get into that yet. Just hold on. Anyway, Zero, you're absolutely correct. I went through the Commanders schedule. I went through the Giants schedule who are falling apart, and I went through the Seahawks schedule. Okay. Now, it's very like the Giants and the Cowboys and the Commanders got to play each other a bunch more times the last 5. All right. So somebody's going to win those games. Somebody's going to lose those games. And there is a likelihood that if the Packers win out, now that's the big if, they got to win out, that they could sneak in as the 7th seed. They really could. There's a good chance for that happening. That is true. That's the only reason I still say it. But mostly it falls on the fact that those 2 NFC East teams, Giants and Commanders, and then the Seahawks, all have a lot of losable games, and some of them are going to be playing each other and lose and that sort of stuff. So it all kind of depends how that shakes out. But yes, Zero, you're all right. Hey, Rick's here too. How you doing, Rick? Thanks for telling the truth. We're always telling the truth. Billy Wayne, thanks for being here to hear the truth. Eric Gardner says QB can't help stop the run on D. Well,
just
QB can
sounds
also
like a Viking. Mo, just
you know what? QB can also
God dang it,
not throw those damn picks.
You can have them, Mo. Take them. Take them. Take them. You took our used old quarterback 15 years ago. Take this old crappy quarterback. I really hope they do. You can have them. The Vikings can take them. Yeah, for all absolutely. I care.
100%. All right, let's
gladly go up against them.
We got to do a little history. How do we get to this? Because Ben, you pointed out the biggest reason with Rodgers is that he's not reading defenses. He hasn't read defenses in years. So how did this happen? Let's go back because it culminated last season. It culminated last season was the ultimate Aaron Rodgers not reading the defense because whenever he didn't want to read the defense, he just threw it up to Devontae Adams, and the 2 of them kind of made a play. Okay? Now, nobody else, the other 9 guys in the field had no effing clue what was going on all those plays. So it sure the hell wasn't fun. It sure wasn't fun for them playing football, right? Would that be fun? Ask yourself that. You're a player on the offense. A play is called 12 and 17, do whatever the hell they want, and you got no idea what the play is, and you weren't even really a part of it. Is that fun? It's not fun. Anyway, whatever.
Wait, I forgot the other part. It gets you a net of 3 yards. Or 2 yards, or negative 3 yards, or negative 2 yards, or or maybe you move the ball 20 yards downfield, but then you had to punt, and you had 9 consecutive drives where you scored no points. Yeah, even though your defense only held the opposing team to 3 points, right, and it wasn't for. And then a block freaking punt scored touchdown, saved your quarterback from looking like a jackass.
Yeah, always got something to save him. Yeah, always got.
And the year before was the Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur kicked the field goal. He should have given Aaron Rodgers a chance. Aaron Rodgers, give him a chance.
Let's go all the way back in history here because we can figure out the root where this Aaron Rodgers trend problem started. Where did it all start? Where Aaron Rodgers thought, I'm no longer going to listen to my coach. I know it's best, and I'm just going to start to do, whatever I want. So it goes all the way back to 2012. 2013. Okay. So 2012 was a very big year. 2011 was a monster year, right? MVP, first MVP season following the Super Bowl. Okay. Mike McCarthy's offense is clicking. We got all the athletes to win their one-on-one matchups and get open, and we can throw the ball over the field, attack everybody.
And teams are so afraid of this that they're playing zone defense because they're afraid of Rodgers using his legs. So they don't want to play man because they're afraid that he'll run on third down. So they play zone, which just leads right into that one-on-one matchup. Aaron Rodgers making pinpoint accurate passes, being able to move the ball on third down when the guys are covered. He can still extend drives with his legs. All that happened because of that.
Then we get into 2013, okay? And Rodgers has the injury, but comes back from it. He thinks it's a destiny season, right? A destiny season that him and Randall are back. They win. They get in the playoffs. And then they meet the 49ers after getting steamrolled the year before because they couldn't stop Colin Kaepernick from running all over their asses. And then they play this cold weather game in Lambeau. And they come up short again because they can't stop Colin Kaepernick from scrambling when they need him to.
In a playoff game that the Packers couldn't even sell out Lambeau Field.
Right.
They had to have local businesses buy tickets. Now, it was really cold.
It was super
cold. The fans knew there was zero chance this team could win because they knew the defense couldn't stop Colin Kaepernick.
But still you had, the big injury and Rodgers was gone for all that time and So a lot of excuses in there, a lot of variables that people weren't going to say, okay, we're not done yet. So Aaron Rodgers is still kind of believing, okay, they're still part of it. Then we get to 2014 and Mike McCarthy says, hey, you know what we've been missing here is a big back. And we got to have the big back and we got to run. We got to lead through the run. I think that even started in 13, but they kind of worked their way into it. It did start in 13. Yeah. And they worked their way into it more in 14 where Eddie Lacy was featured more and more, right? And we're going to run the ball. We're going to throw less. We're going to run the ball and all that sort of stuff. And they get all the way to the NFC Championship game again, but they end up short again. And then Aaron Rodgers is like, you know what? All right, I went along with you for a while here. We had some success. The last couple of years hasn't been working. We tried the running game with the big back. We tried doing all this stuff. It's not working anymore, Mike. 2015, we lost some talent at the wide receiver spot. I'm going to start doing my own thing. I'm going to start making these hero plays. This play might work, but if I hang on to the ball a little longer and run around, maybe we'll get a bigger play, more exciting play. Football is more fun when I can make it more challenging for myself. If it's scripted and convenient and too easy, it's just not that fun for me. And that is where it all started. After the 2014 season, that's where it all started, where Aaron Rodgers started to turn. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then another MVP, then the big comebacks in 2016. He's so valuable and should have won the MVP that year, to be honest, to give him credit. But it just kept growing, and that was all on his shoulders.
Won 2 years. He should have won the year that Cam Newton won, and he should have won the year that Matt Ryan won. But he shouldn't have won the last 2 years that he did win. So he's got the 2 that he should have got from years past. But okay, I got you. Go ahead.
So anyway, but that's really where it all started, and then it kind of kept going, and then we saw how the McCarthy era ended, where it wasn't Mike McCarthy calling a bunch of those plays. Aaron Rodgers was kind of freestyling it and winging it. James Jones has talked about it. They even talked about the end of that Dallas playoff game. He's like, Aaron will do this where he's just drawing up plays in the huddle. And, James Jones came out and said it in the media, guys. It's not disguised. This stuff was all said publicly by people accidentally until Rodgers probably sent him a text like, hey, don't say that shit in public. Not yet. Now he doesn't care. Now, whatever. He doesn't really care. He's all said it himself. But back then he was still being a little more discreet about it. And so you have that whole history, right? That's all how it went down. And then we saw how Mike McCarthy went out. And then first year under Matt LaFleur, okay, new system. Mark Murphy talked to him. Goody talked to him. Everybody talked to him. LaFleur comes in. He's got to learn the new offense. And the first year, he runs that offense. He doesn't have all the stats. He's not in the MVP discussion.
Nope.
None of
Aaron
that.
Aaron Jones gets a whole bunch of touchdowns and destroys.
But they're running the offense. And then even on plays where he would be interviewed after the game, where he'd have a touchdown pass or whatever, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, do you like that play?" It's like, well, I didn't really have to do much on that play. I mean, it was a play action. The guy was wide open. All I just had to do is kind of throw it in his area, and it was a touchdown. Yeah. So
I know, and he gets upset about that.
Why? Why is that not fun?
Tom Brady will take that touchdown any day. He also will take 7 championships, unlike you, Rodgers, who has 1.
Everybody else will. Nobody else
God.
in the history of the NFL wants to make playing quarterback harder than it has to be. They would take an easy touchdown gladly because you know what easy touchdowns do? They help you win games.
Win games and win championships.
When you have to make the perfect pass all the time, when your guys barely getting open because you didn't scheme them open and they got to win their one-on-one matchups, but they're not that good to win the one-on-one matchup, and you got to fit it in a little window all the time. When that is the way you have to play, the margin for error is very small. And the margin for victory is also very small. And that's what we've seen with the Packers over the last several years, right? A bunch of these wins, even the 13-win seasons, have been very close wins. They pulled the game out of their ass, or they just made that one more play than the other team, or whatever.
And the losses have been blowouts.
Yeah.
Except for this year. Because this year they lost games that they should, like against teams that they should have won.
So
but
as we go,
the last 2 years, it was different. 3 years.
So I'm sorry I went on so long, but we had to go back in history and kind of evaluate all this. The other key point that I have to bring up, that I must bring up to cement this home for anyone who's doubting this as reality. Okay. Because this is the reality of Aaron Rodgers in the history of the last 8 years. Does anyone else recall all of the times in the media, Mike McCarthy said, yeah, we got to run the ball. We got to start with the run. We're going to run the ball. We got to run the ball more. Pre-game interviews with other guys, we're going to run the ball. Okay. And then what did they do? And then they hardly ever ran the ball. They threw the ball way more than they ran it. In the last couple of seasons, we've heard Matt LaFleur, certainly at times, especially in the losses, and especially this season, say, we got to get the ball to Aaron Jones more. We got to run the ball. We got to get the ball to 33. We got to utilize our backs. 28 and 33 are two of our best offensive weapons. We really got to get those guys the ball. Matt LaFleur said it more this year. So you have an old head coach who used to talk about how they got to run the ball, yet they didn't run the ball. And now you got the current head coach who's talking about how they got to run the ball, and then they're not running the ball. What do you think about that? Anybody? You think it's just lip service by the coach trying to throw the other team off? I don't think so. I think they called some runs and their quarterback didn't want to run the ball. So anyway, that's how we got here. And then how we ended up there is, Rodgers is going to do his own thing. And then it culminated last year with, because he had Devontae to lean on, he didn't have to sit there and read the play, run the play, read the defense, read what was going on. Even he could just throw it to a spot and Devontae would know where to go to get it. That was it. And that's not fun offense. That's not even an offense, to be honest.
It sure was. It's not an offense.
No.
It's two guys drawing crap up. And here's the other thing. Eventually, a good defense, like the 49ers in the playoffs, will take it away. And then when that gets taken away, the quarterback who doesn't know how to run offense or read the defense does nothing, which is what happened. And this year, Aaron Rodgers has had the most games in a row without throwing for 300 yards his entire career. This season, even though he's had 39 attempts in games and such.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know when you want to get into the defense, but the defense has been a big issue. So that's also part of this team that's a problem. But we're talking Rodgers right now. We're talking Rodgers right now. The bottom line is this. We've been saying it for 2-3 years. It's not a surprise. And the Packers had a chance this offseason. I said it. You said it. They should have traded him, whether he wanted to or not, or try to convince him to be traded, tell him we're going to rebuild, and that you were never going to get more than what you got after a guy comes off of 2 MVP seasons. That's when you would have gotten a boatload, a huge haul.
Yeah.
But now what are you going to do? Cut him? He's going to retire? Are you going to try to... here's the other thing. Last year, at the end of the year, what did he say after the playoff game? I don't want to be part of a rebuild. Well, heads up, buddy. Next year, there's a lot of guys on contract making a lot of money, but don't have a lot of money that's like guaranteed, and they'll be gone. A lot of starters, including Aaron Jones, My favorite guy on offense. Amos. Preston Smith's contract is kind of weird where it's set up. You know, they can probably walk away from him. Dean Lowry. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. Starters. That they're going to have to find new starters for those positions.
Yeah.
So is that a rebuild team? Is next year a rebuild team? Does Rodgers want to come back to a rebuild team, even though he's on the books for at least, if they cut him, like $89 million or whatever the crap in dead cap money, if he's gone next year or traded or whatever?
What is it? I forget the date, but if the contract is ended or traded or whatever before a certain date, then they can split that cap hit between 2 seasons if they want versus taking it all in one.
No, it's June 1st.
June 1st. Is that the date?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, this is what needs to.
But it's more. Are
we going to talk about the future? What are we going to do here? Because
it's more than about the money, right? It's more than about the money. It's about what this player is doing to the locker room, to the organization, undermining the coach. Like it's all of that stuff. So when you have a problem person, no matter how damn good they are, and right now when they're really good, like difference making good, you put up with it in whatever business it is. Like people talk about all the time. But when that person's no longer helping you achieve success or what you want to, then you find a way to get rid of them and you take your lumps and you move on. But removing that from the situation is the first step. And if it costs you a bunch of money or it costs you whatever, you have to understand that that's the first step to fixing it and turning it around. And that's what the team has to face. Now, I heard Mark Tauscher today say, well, look, they made their choice. When they gave Aaron the big contract extension, they decided he's got all control. He's got all the power. It's his team. He's the quarterback. And Mark Tauscher even said today, you don't pick up Jordan Love's 5th year option. If Aaron Rodgers is coming back, you don't pick it up.
You do pick it up. And I'll tell you why you pick it up.
Okay.
You pick it up because he's guaranteed to be on your team for 2 more years. Okay.
Right.
Even if Rodgers comes back next year and he forces the team to play him, because that's what's going to happen.
He's going to come walking back in.
Because they're not going to want to play him. Even if he comes back and they force him to play him the next year, or by June 1st, they can cut him. They can trade him. Because the salary cap hit will be like $30 million or something in 2025. Whether they cut him on June 1st or whether they wait and cut him the next year. Which means if they wait till June 1st, Jordan Love will be the starting quarterback next year and beyond. And he'll be under contract for 2025 if they pick up his 3rd year option. They will pick up his 5th year option. They will pick up his 5th year option. Because if they don't, they're stupid.
Well, they always do with their first round picks, pretty much too.
Right.
So
well, I mean, we already paid Savage $7.8 million next year for being on the bench because he sucks, which we all said in the offseason. We said that all offseason. I mean, it's not. You know what really bothers? I one more thing, real quick. I don't know if I'm a genius. I don't know if you're a genius. I'm pretty sure we're dumb. I mean, we're just guys. I didn't even graduate college. I went to college for 8.5 years, changed my major 3 times, screwed around the whole time because I wanted to just keep singing. That's all I did. I didn't really care. But I'm not that smart. But everything I've said and everything that you've said over the last 2 years has happened. Everything. Every single thing. There's not a single thing that hasn't happened that we've warned about. And there isn't a single thing that we warned about that didn't happen yet. It's all happened now, by now. We've been warning about all these things for years. And now, of course, this year, all of it went to shit all at the same time.
Yep.
The Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
You know, the Myers, the Rodgers, the Amos, the Preston Smith. Now, of course, and then we said about Za'Darius, who's a half-assed player, and he goes to the Vikings, and he gets a lot of stats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, because he has a lot better players around him, he's able to be more productive. I don't know. And they pick up his slack.
0, it's pretty true. Go on. You've seen enough from us that most of the things we've cautioned about.
Listen, lottery is different. Lottery is you don't know. See, that's the thing. It's not like we're saying stuff like, I think the sky is going to turn purple tomorrow.
Right.
No, that's
we're
not
not
what
predicting
we're doing.
the future.
We
right.
look at the film. We look at the stats. We look at the interaction with people. We look at what a player does and what he doesn't do, how it looks like he's learning, what the coaches are doing, and we piece it all together and tell you what happens and what we see. Right? That's what we've been doing this whole time. And we've said it this whole time. And now, of course, a bunch of Packer fans are just shocked and appalled. How could this happen? How could the team suck so bad? Oh, my God. What is going on? Well, it's nothing new. But the dumbest part is we already said at the beginning. If Jordan Love would have been playing this whole time since after London, we'd be in the hunt right now.
Yeah.
We'd be in the hunt. We'd have 7 wins. It'd be 7-4 or 6-5 or something. We'd be halfway decent.
At least 6 wins.
Or 6-6 or whatever. I don't know what the hell the damn score. What's their record? 8-4 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it'd be 7.
We'd probably be 7-5. I think we'd have 3 more.
7-5, yeah, 7-5. Or 6-6, even at the least, or the worst.
6-6, you're right in there. Yeah.
But we have a shot, and not only that, we'd probably have the tiebreaker over Washington.
Yeah.
And the tiebreaker over Dallas. So that's almost like having an extra win right there.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, I know I'm going crazy. This whole thing has been one of the dumbest thing to watch I've ever seen. In this last game, I got so pumped. I mean, there were like the Aaron Rodgers touchdown run or Aaron Jones touchdown run, and then they call a gosh dang freaking holding call
on a great block. That was like Jenkins.
When Jenkins destroyed that dude. Are you freaking kidding me?
That was a great block. That was like his best block I've ever seen him make.
It was awesome. That was such a bullshit call. And then they don't call pass interference on the pass that Jordan Love has, the Randall Cobb in the end zone at the end of the game when the guy got there clearly earlier as freaking you could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, listen, for years, us as Packer fans have gotten the benefit of the refs many a time.
Yeah.
Many a time. And it's almost like the NFL's decided, you know what? The spiral has ended. Every call is going against you this year.
Well, maybe the NFL was tired of
it's
Aaron
starting
Rodgers.
It's starting to look a little more like NBA officiating around here. But you know,
maybe
in a lot of ways
getting tired of Aaron Rodgers, so now they're turning on the whole Packers because of it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's take away that Derrick Henry big screen pass when Quay Walker got clotheslined.
Right,
but the Packers would have won that game. Even just take away that one play.
Yeah,
because that would have been a penalty. They would have put him so far back. There's no way they would have gotten out of that mess.
Right.
No way. But they didn't call it.
Yeah.
Didn't call it. Clear as day. Clear as day. Didn't call
it. If Mo was on here, I'm sure he's had plenty of those over the last several years as a Vikings guy. But look, here's the thing. As you're right, we'll wrap up on Rodgers. I mean, we got to move on. But I mean, I don't know. The guy has. There's just nothing positive he's bringing to the table right now, and he's not been playing quarterback well. Plus, he's got all the other issues. Publicly, he's saying all this crap all the time. Just look at what's happened just this season. The drama, the soap opera, the undercutting everybody, undercutting the coaches, throwing guys under the bus, complaining about other players, all this sort of stuff. He's not going to change. Like, how can you play this shitty and say you're not going to change? But that's his mentality. That's him. So I don't know. I mean, Ben and I have said it for a while. We just want our team back. We want the Packers back. And the other part to the whole damn thing, and this goes to the Savage, this goes to like other guys playing when they're underperforming. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what draft pick you were, what round you were drafted in. If you are playing like trash, put somebody else in there. I don't care what position it is. I don't care. I want to win. I want the guys out there who are going to play hard and going to give us the best chance to win. And for years, Darnell Savage has not been that, but they kept putting him out there. They do the same thing with other guys. Kenny Clark's highly underperforming for a first-round pick that got a crap ton of money. Jair Alexander is playing fine, but he's not paid to play fine. He's paid to be a difference maker, and he's not a difference maker. So the Packers have put all this money into a bunch of these guys, and those guys have not lived up to the investment. Bottom line. You got Matt LaFleur here?
Yeah, share me.
All right.
Hopefully, tell me if you get the audio.
The first series he was in.
Yep. You got the audio?
Yep.
Is it loud? Is it loud enough?
I think so. I could hear it.
Okay, here we go. Let's listen to this.
we certainly we were normal tempo and did a really nice job. I think we ran the ball.
Whoa, hey, what's going on? Our show
On
sucks.
first down.
It's
here we
buffer.
go.
Oh,
And got a couple yards on second down to set up a 3rd and 5. He did a nice job. They were off coverage on Allen on the outside and threw the alert to Allen.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this. Apparently, this doesn't want to work. So whatever.
all right.
I just wanted to
I can
show
find
there's a long thing of Matt LaFleur
Talking about Jordan Love.
talk about Jordan Love and all the good things he did. All the
Limited
reading,
opportunities. What,
reading
13 plays?
defense, reading the defense prior to the snap, reading the defense after the snap. He talked about a play on the first series where Darius Slay was sitting in, played like the yards off on the side of the ball. Ball was supposed to go there first. He looked. Jordan chose not to throw there, and he chose instead to throw it to AJ Dillon on the quick, on his quick out on the other side of the field. Okay, and then the very next drive was when he had that awesome deep or that pass to Aaron Jones on the sideline, and the reason why he did that was because he read Slay sitting at that 5-yard mark, and he knew that he had that open hot shot based on what they had done on the previous series on a similar play. So he not only did he read the defense the first time and know not to throw it there, after because he wanted to go there, but he saw Slay was there. He's like, "Oh crap, that's not happening." Then the second time he read it again, and the adjustment of the route, because not the adjustment of the route, but there's a different play call where Aaron Jones took advantage of being in that hole, just past where Slay was at corner, allowed Love to throw that pass to Jones. Now Jones dropped it, went right through his hands because it was like a perfect spiral, and he was like, "Oh, what's this? A perfect spiral? I haven't seen one of those in like 2 months." So he wasn't ready for that. Excuse me. But so I was trying to show stuff, but apparently my freaking computer and everything is all stupid, and I'm constantly buffering, and it's pissing me off, and I hate doing this crap because the Packers piss me off. But that's all I want to say. And I wish I could have showed it. You can watch it on your own in the press conference from Monday. Matt LaFleur talking all the good things that Jordan Love did.
What time was that in there in the thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I already closed it because I don't care. So don't worry about it.
All right. Fair enough. Well, the thing is too, yeah, I mean, Jordan Love, look, here's the other big thing. I love how when they talk to Matt LaFleur about, they talked to Aaron Rodgers about Jordan Love and what he did, what his biggest changes were, improvements were, and all this sort of stuff. And the thing Rodgers said was, well, fundamentally he's so much better, and throwing on time and on rhythm. And I'm just like, and Rodgers talks about that shit all the time, but he never does it. How
would he know what that is?
Exactly.
How would he know if another quarterback is doing that? Because he never does it.
Well, apparently he knows it, but he doesn't see it in his own play. When he watches his own film, he doesn't see no feet on the ground and all this sort of stuff. And he doesn't see waiting too long, not throwing when the guy's open, not throwing it on time, not throwing in rhythm, but that's the stuff he talked about. And you saw it when Love got in there. What happened? He was decisive. He hit his back foot. He let the ball go.
Or he didn't on the play I just described. Right, he hit his back foot and looked over there and saw Slay and like, crap, not going there. I'm going over here to AJ Dillon, who got a couple yards. He got 7 yards on that play.
Right. In a couple of plays, he used his legs to extend some stuff. Okay. Yeah. But all the other plays that he went back to pass, he looked at it. He was decisive. He didn't piss around. Aaron Rodgers is the ultimate guy at pissing around, and it costs him now that he's old.
Well, that's the other thing I don't understand. People want Savage out because they watch Rudy Ford make attack, and sometimes Rudy Ford's in the wrong spot, but 9 times out of 10, he's attacking and makes a play because he's decisive and he goes, right? Same thing with Keyshawn Nixon. People love Keyshawn Nixon returning kicks. Even though he catches the ball in the damn end zone, it could be just catch the ball and you get the ball 25-yard line. He takes it out every damn time. He don't care.
I love it.
Which is awesome, and that's great. He's aggressive. He goes for it, and he goes to the 40. He gets to the 50. He just keeps going, right? He's giving us good field position because he's like, screw it, go on. I'm decisive. I'm making my move. I'm making my cuts. I'm making guys miss. I'm reading the blocks. He does a very good job because he's decisive and he attacks. So how come when we replace, Keyshawn Nixon we replace Amari Rodgers with Keyshawn Nixon, everybody loves it. We replace Savage with Rudy Ford, everybody loves it. But we can't replace Jordan Love who's doing all the right things at quarterback with a guy who doesn't do all the things at right quarterback? Everybody has a heart attack? Why? Because he won a Super Bowl 12 years ago? That's why? 12 years ago when he had Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jermichael Finley, James Jones on his team?
Tremont Williams.
Well, I'm just talking about the offense.
I know, but
James Starks, for God's sakes, who was a Super Bowl or a superstar in that Eagles game.
He was
in
awesome.
The playoffs in 2010. If you would have James Starks and Donald Driver, go back and watch that game. Holy shit. Donald Driver was awesome. James Starks was awesome. It wasn't that Aaron Rodgers game. No, the Atlanta game, all Aaron Rodgers, he was awesome. No doubt. The Bears game, Rodgers sucked.
But they still need Tremon's 2 picks in that game to...
Yes. They didn't really need it because they blew him out. But it helped because they got such a big, huge lead that it was like, But, and of course, the Bears game, Rodgers sucked again. He was terrible. We needed a B.J. Raji pick from some third-string quarterback for us to win that damn game. But people seem to forget this stuff. So the guy wins one Super Bowl because he has a bunch of good players on the team with him, the number 1 rated defense he's playing with Charles Woodson as the leader. And now everybody thinks he's the reason why the Packers win every single year, and he should be out there all the time, even though he's got a freaking broken thumb and a broken wrist or a broken rib. What?
Well, and the only reason he left was because he was concerned about lung. Might have had a punctured lung. You want to get that checked out. Otherwise he would have toughed it out, that tough guy. Like, dude, I don't know. Look, there was a stark difference. It wasn't just about the defense the Eagles are playing, because it was about the quarterback was decisive. The quarterback didn't try to look when the first read was there or the play was there. He didn't try to look for something else. He didn't try to look for something more. He tried to go for his number 1 read. If the number 1 read's open, I'm throwing it to him and I'm done. Ball's out. I'm not taking a sack. It's a positive play. And when that number 1 read is Christian Watson, that's a pretty good thing to do. Because Christian Watson is crazy fast. I was like, holy God, is he fast?
And I can remember last year, what did Aaron Rodgers say? He said Davante Adams was the most dominant player he's ever played with. Davante Adams, dominant player. Can you imagine if Christian Watson learns how to catch? I'm pretty sure right now Christian Watson is more dominant than Davante Adams ever dreamed he could have been. Because of his incredible speed and his route running. He's really good route running. And his strength. He breaks tackles. Yes, guys are constantly trying to get his legs. He just keeps going. He's not like other guys who fall down, when they get breathed on, like, Alan Lazard, Robert Tonyan. Anyways, he breaks right through guys. He breaks tackles. He's aggressive. He runs good routes. If he could just catch the ball, holy piss in a bucket. He'd be awesome. He already is awesome. 6 touchdowns in 3 games. That's a Packer rookie record. Or no, it's not. It's not a record. He's got 2 guys he's got to beat. One's got 9, one's got 13. There's no way he's going to catch those 2. But it's way better than a lot of other guys who have played this year on this team. It's freakish. That's dominant. Not Davante Adams. Davante Adams because he catches a 2-yard pass because you threw it to his back shoulder. The corner wasn't ready. That's not dominant. That's a good pass and a guy who's dumb and you got lucky because your guy can't get open. And the corner's like, I'm covering him. What's going on? Why is he throwing the ball? I'm covering him. It's like the touchdown. It's like the touchdown that Rasul Douglas gave up against the Eagles the other day, right before the end of the halftime.
Yeah,
it was a terrible. It wasn't a terrible pass. It was a back shoulder pass. It was an underthrown ball,
right.
And Rasul couldn't see it, didn't find it, and they got lucky. And it happened right after Rasul got called for a pass interference because he got beat by a double move and he grabbed him because he did that. That was 2 weeks in a row. He's done that, which is a smart play. Yeah, problem is they knew that he was worried about getting beat at that point. So then they sent him deep on him.
Yeah.
And Douglas wasn't ready for it. So instead of throwing the deep pass, Jalen Hurts, and I'll say this, Jalen Hurts played great. His passing was very good. His running was very good. We'll get into the defense eventually.
I still would have preferred. Let's go into defense now. But I still would have. Okay. I still would have preferred make Jalen Hurts throw to beat you, not let him freaking run all over you. I mean, I'm pretty much sure it's what everybody would feel.
He was throwing the ball pretty dang.
Yeah, but if you played a bunch of coverage and you just made him throw it, like if you played zone, so there's not all those escape routes, so you get. That was the biggest thing. Like, I don't understand how they were playing man, and then they just get totally wiped out of the picture, and then have these undisciplined rush lanes, and you can just run for 40 yards. Well, what the hell is that? Like, that's insane.
In the second half, they changed it. They rushed better. They rushed as a unit, and they stayed together, and they didn't go free for all. And they did a much better job against Jalen Hurts. However, they then couldn't stop the run, like the regular running plays, like Sanders and whatever that guy's name was, the other guy, just ran all over the damn place, and there's nothing you could do there. Because, Kenny Clark freaking got manhandled by a 37 or 35-year-old center or whatever. I don't know how old he is, but he's old. Right? He's been around for 1,000 years. Why the hell in his ass? Why is Kenny Clark, who's only like 25 years old in his 7th year, for some reason, he's 25 in his 7th year, gets his ass kicked by a guy who's 10 years older than him? I thought he was supposed to be so great.
He is. He's paid like he's great. He's paid like
sucks.
He's great.
He always has sucked. He's never made a freaking plays. He never gets penetration. That's all thing I always hear. He's so dominant. He's so dominant. He's not dominant. Even when he beats this guy, he doesn't make a play because he's not fast enough to get anywhere.
All right, let's talk. Watchers talking some stuff about our guy Quay. Look, Quay missed a couple of tackles here and there, but he still led the team in tackles, and he's still flying around. And yeah, sometimes now you're saying he can't get off blocks to save his life. Quay can't shed a block. He beats blocks quite a bit. Maybe he doesn't shed them too good, but he beats them a lot.
Why is it Walker sucks? He can get off a block, but Kenny Clark hasn't gotten off a block in months. He finally got off a block in this game and totally missed a tackle. He had Sanders wrapped up, and he just squirted right through him and scored a damn touchdown. Of course, Jair was there, but Jair just kind of did the, hey, I'm Jair. I'm not tackling anybody, which he always does. And a lot of people are saying, how does this defense suck so bad? Last year, they played as a unit and did so well. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because none of the stars were there. You ever think about that, fans? They played as a team because they had Rasul Douglas and, all these guys playing as a team. Campbell was playing for his contract. Douglas was playing for his life because he was on his last leg to probably be in a team. Jair wasn't out there doing free-for-all, whatever the crap. Z wasn't there screwing shit up all the goddamn time. And the guys were playing together.
Yeah.
And they played great. And now this year, even Stokes played pretty good. This year, Jair doesn't want to tackle anybody. Nobody. Well, then don't freaking have him play zone. Have him play man on your best guy all the time. Or whatever. Or have him, if you always want to keep him over on the right side of the defense, the whole freaking game, then have him play man. All by himself over there. Have him play zone. They'll tackle. Nixon will tackle. Douglas will tackle. Freaking Rudy Ford will tackle. Now Amos, I don't know what Amos is bad. Holy shit, was he bad?
So
in this
disappointing.
Game. So bad.
So disappointing.
He just is not aggressive at all. I mean, he is just terrible. He's terrible.
Watch the other. So if you're a Packer fan and you've watched the Packers, the way their defensive guys are so passive and don't attack and like they don't attack the plays, and watch a bunch of these other defenses in the NFL, it's just drastically different. And it can't be the coach says, oh, when you're an unblocked safety or unblocked corner and you see that the quarterback doesn't have the ball anymore and the running back does, they're not coached to sit back there and do nothing. They're not coached to sit back there and wait. You recognize that bothers me. You go and attack.
That bothers me way more than Quay Walker, the rookie who can't get off a block. Okay, if he can't get off a block, at least that's something maybe he can learn, or once he gets a little more strength, or he understands leverage, and he understands when a guy's coming at him to maybe get around him or do something. Like Amos, when he had Kelsey coming straight at him, he dove for his legs to try to take him out, which is a penalty now. Number one. Number two, you got 100 pounds. You're 100 pounds lighter than that guy. You think you can't like juke him and go around him to make the tackle, or at least force the running back to go further outside or further inside or whatever by beating. Going around that offensive lineman? Because whenever I see a Packers guy pulling an offensive line, the opposing defense always beats him to the spot or cuts it back to the inside. They don't allow them to get hands on him.
And our guys, then when you're doing that, the other thing what you're doing, right? When you wait and sit there, then you're allowing them to dictate to you where they want to go. Yeah. If you attack a spot, you're cutting that spot off, then they have to change and adjust. So that's just the basic part about defense. You have to be aggressive. You have to play your discipline or your gap. But when you're like a safety or a corner, like you need to make an aggressive move, especially when you're unblocked. When you are unblocked, there's no excuse. And we've seen it time and time when you showed the all 22 Ben oftentimes where you showed the video of like Rudy Ford. He saw there was a handoff. Boom. He's flying up there to get in on the play. And then you showed
even on plays where he has no chance of getting on the play because the other guys made a good play. He attacks because he as soon as he recognizes running back has the ball, I'm going to go up and help out.
And if you watch Amos in that same spot, he just sits back there and waits, and Savage sits back there and waits. Like, you can't be that. You have to be a difference maker and run support. That's what makes a difference between a 15, 20-yard run and a 6-yard run. Is when your safety sits back there, it can be a 15, 20-yard run. If your safety comes up and helps in support and recognizes it quickly, then it's a 6-yard run. Come on, man. Oh, and Dad's all on the defense. Well, Dad, okay.
Well, the defense did suck.
I got a couple of things to point out.
That's right. I'm not specifically talking about the defense.
Who are our best players? Who are our best players on defense
right now? Rudy Ford,
right now.
Keyshawn Nixon.
Yep.
I don't know. That's about it.
Those are the two best guys.
Those are the two best guys on our defense, by far, by a wide margin. And then maybe it's Rasul Douglas, as long as he doesn't have to cover a guy who's faster than him, because then he's screwed. But, and I was thinking about this today. I was like, I'm thinking they might have to, Amos not come back next year. Fine. And then you start next year, Jair, start Stokes. Maybe Douglas plays safety. Could you imagine if Douglas has always got his eyes on the quarterback the entire game?
He'd be a great safety. Yeah.
How many picks would he get? How many times does he come flying up tackle? It'd be like 2 Rudy Fords. You'd have Rudy Ford, sign him back. Rudy Ford and Douglas as your safeties. Nixon as your nickel, sign him back. And Jair. That gets rid of your 2 biggest problems, which right now are, 3. Douglas is a very good tackler and a very good corner, but he can't hold up against speed receivers. That's his issue. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I love Douglas, but that's his problem. He's not fast enough. You got Savage, who doesn't attack, can't tackle, doesn't know where the hell the ball is. Well, just get him off the field. That helps. Then Amos, who apparently has lost a step and is not aggressive. And that's what I was trying to get at before. I'd rather see Quay Walker knock it off a block than Adrian Amos, who doesn't get blocked and just stands there and dances for a while, and then the guy runs past him. Because that's what happened a bunch. And I know Jalen Hurts is fast and whatever, but it's like, holy crap. But I think that'd be pretty awesome for a secondary next year.
I said it. I mean, I said it in the game chat. Was I'd be talking to Ford and Nixon's agents now. I'd try to get him signed. Offer him a reasonable 3-4 year contract now.
Yeah,
they've shown me enough that they're the type of players they are. I'll take them for even if they end up not turning into getting any better than they are right now. I'd take him for a reasonable 3-4 year contract. Are you kidding me? Over the guys that we've invested more money and high picks in, compared to the way those guys play, compared to the way 25 and 20 play. I'll take those guys all day. Those are the kind of guys you want on a defense.
Yeah.
They recognize, they attack, they're physical, they don't screw around. They might miss once in a while, but I'd rather be aggressive and miss than sit back there and just take it all the time. And that's what a bunch of these other Packer defenders do. So, all right. So I understand. Look, the biggest part of the defensive problems with the rushing for the quarterback were just undisciplined rush and defensive calls that didn't make any sense against a quarterback that you knew could take off and run. It just seemed like with Joe Barry, did you know who you were playing here? I don't understand. Did any of the defensive players realize they're playing Jalen Hurts to start the game? I mean, it's inexplicable. I understand at first you had Quay Walker spy him once. Okay, beat him and all right, fine. But that's still not good enough. I would have had the whole game should have been from a defensive line, defensive pass rush situation was a disciplined rush lanes all the time. We're containing this guy. We're making him be a passer. We have to do that.
The other thing is this: if you want to have against a fast quarterback like this, right, or a good rushing quarterback like this, and we're going to see one next week if he plays in Fields.
If he gets in there, yeah.
The key is the way they played in the second half, which was much better, where the rush was not as spread out. It was closer together. First of all, that helps you against the run.
Yep.
Not this team maybe, but most teams. But then you also push the pocket and you just kind of collapse the pocket, which forces then that quarterback, instead of a nice free, easy release moving forward, he's got to move vertical or horizontal instead of vertical, right? And by doing that, and if you still keep Quay Walker as your spy, he no longer has to worry about Jalen Hurts having a two-way go. Because when Jalen Hurts comes straight up the field at him, that's how he got beat. He juked him to the left and then spoke right back to the right and went out for a whole bunch of yards, and Walker missed him, right? Well, can you imagine if the defensive line actually closed the pockets and then Hurts had to run to the one side only, and then Quay Walker can pursue, and they're both pursuing at the same angle? The cutback is going to be a lot harder there, right? And you have a way better chance as Quay Walker to hold on to Hurts and stick with him. Because you got the sideline as your friend and you're both moving the same way. But when you're standing there and a guy's coming straight at you and he's jukey and he's fast, he's got a two-way go. You're screwed. That's why Quay Walker couldn't spy there. The rush lanes were terrible. But, of course, Quay Walker is the one everybody says sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you put anybody there, they were to get get
nobody
juked out of their shorts by Jalen Hurts. I mean,
yeah.
Screw that. You think Campbell would have done any better? Frick, no.
No, nobody. None of the
but
guys.
It's just the D line, like everybody, like they all are like
the inside guys want to go to the outside.
Yeah, they all want to go. They all want to go to the outside. I don't know it.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like
it's
not
every
single. You could ask any quarterback. I can guarantee the one place they don't want pressure is up the middle.
Yeah,
that's where they don't want to see it. And it's just, and they did a better job in the second half. So they did make adjustments, and that's why I like Joey Berry. I don't know. I think he needs to go for sure, because these guys are playing 10 yards off at like 3rd and 14, like that one 3rd 14. I mean, when they go, and that's the other thing. They stop them on third down with like 1 yard to go, and they get excited. Like, yeah, like really? Because I'm at home and I'm watching, and I'm like, really? You guys are excited because you got on the 4th down and 1? Guess what? They're going to get it.
Yeah, they're going to go
4th down and 3. They're going to get it. I mean, come on.
This coach is definitely going for it. He's not screwing around either. You know, it's like that's what I hate too. Like when they play those defenses that are just you're gonna stop them just a couple of yards short. Well, in today's NFL, a couple of yards short is basically just inviting the other team to go for it most times, because most of these coaches are going to go for it. What's the alternative? Gain maybe 20, 30 yards field position on a punt, or maybe keep possession of the ball. They're going to go for it. You know, the only time they're not going to go for it is if they're backed up in their own end. But otherwise, if they're close to midfield, they'll be like, meh. I mean, what are we really going to gain here? Unless we have a great punt, we're only going to gain like 20, 30 yards. Yeah, might as well go for it.
I think people on their own 30 are going to go for it on 4th and 2 against this team.
McCarthy would.
I would too. I'm not worried about this Packers defense. You kidding me? Kenny Clark? TJ Slayton? Dean Lowry? The only guy who scares me is Jaron Reed. That's it. And he doesn't even scare me that much. Devontae White can't even get on the damn field. I don't even know if he's any good. Who knows? I would like to see him out there more. I can tell you this much. He would do more than freaking Kenny Clark. At least he hustles. He's got speed. You see him downfield and like helping out on like chasing down deep running backs and tackling them like 10 yards downfield. Maybe he didn't get there originally. But Kenny Clark doesn't do shit. Why the hell is he even out there? Because he makes money?
Look, I was surprised when they stopped him on the 4th down. That's
because they screwed up.
It is what they screwed up.
Never got the snap.
But they also had actually good. They had really good. Basically, they didn't really penetrate much of the defensive line, but they didn't give any ground. And then they had good close down by the outside guys. You know, So that was awesome. I was surprised. If you didn't have that, it was. But I up until a handful of years ago, if anybody pushed anybody, it was a penalty. And I don't remember when the NFL made this rule change, but now everybody can push everybody, and it's bullshit. Like,
but we don't ever do that.
We don't. I don't know why.
We had the ball on 1st and goal from the 1 yard line after Alan Lazard got tackled, right, against Tennessee.
Yeah,
and we couldn't get in the end zone. All we had to do was that play.
Yeah.
You know what? If Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to freaking run a quarterback sneak, get his ass out of there. Throw Jordan Love in there. And then push his ass into for 1 yard for a goddamn touchdown. I mean, if you could do what the Eagles did to us, why are we not doing that shit? Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to hurt his hand. He doesn't want to touch Josh Myers' butt. He always wants to be in shotgun, so he doesn't have to touch his butt. Is that what it is? He doesn't like other people's butts. I don't either. I don't want to touch other people's butts. But I'll make if you want to give me $50 million, just 1 year, I'll touch guys' butts all over the place. I'll even touch naked butts for $50 million a year. I'll do it. I
don't really like the rule change because I think it's because the defensive guys have to tackle the guy with the ball, right? So that's what they have to do. But you're letting all these guys come in and just push everything or push that guy in particular. But even in like the pileups, right? When the defensive guys basically have them stopped, and then, but you could have 3 offensive linemen come in there, slam the whole thing forward and get a first down, get a couple extra yards and get a first down. And I don't like it. I mean, I don't think it's, I don't like it. And I think it's not okay.
When it's 14, stop him from getting 13 yards.
If it's part of the rules, the Packers should be exploiting it too. Yes. Like these other teams are exploiting the rule, so exploit the rule. Run a play where you give it to A.J. Dillon and 3 big guys come up and ride right up his ass. Or give me A.J. Dillon and, Big Dog or whoever, some of your bigger guys, back up offensive linemen and run a play like that and just give it to A.J. Dillon and then have those 2 big fat dudes go and push them. I don't care. Call it road grader.
Just have Jordan Love be cool. Have A.J. Dillon stand behind him and get him a rushing start. Having him moving in motion from like 10 yards back and have A.J. Dillon get a running start straight at him. And then Jordan Love gets the ball, and then A.J. Dillon just plows into Jordan Love's ass and shoves him 1 yard. It's not even hard. I'm not that smart. I can figure that out. I will gladly touch a man's butt for $50 million. All right, I will gladly do it. Call me. I'll come in. I will take that. I will let A.J. Dillon push me in the back for $50 million to get 1 yard. And I'll touch Josh Byers' ass and get the snap.
I understand that the defense was bad in this game. I understand. All right. But there were some key moments in this game that the defense came up with plays and came up with stops and did some things. And I'm just saying, like, I get it. There was a lot of bad. But here, let's take a look at a couple of them right here. I'm going to show you on the screen. One is, I'll scroll down. We got to get rid of your Kenny Clark 0. Hang on. There you go. All right, we come back. All right, so number 1 is right here. Okay, we got 3 plays. The first Packers plays, 3 plays, interception. We talked about it. So all of a sudden, the team's down 13-0. 13-0, right? Then the Packers go and get a touchdown. Great. 7-13. Then we get 7-13, and we stop the Eagles on 4 plays on downs. Right here. We stopped them, and we get the ball back. All right? Offense answers. Then we're up 14-13. So that's a defensive play from this terrible defense. Everybody says the worst thing ever of all time. Well, they just gave you an opportunity to get the lead right there by stopping them on 4 plays. And stopped them on a 4th down. All right. So the Packers only have to go 37 yards to get that touchdown because their coach was a dumbass and went for it at the 37. And there you go. All right. Then they give up a touchdown. Okay. And right after you give up a touchdown, then your MVP quarterback throws a pick. His second interception of the game, this one in the red zone because he didn't read the defense. It puts your defense in a bad spot. You're already down 20-14. And he just took points off the board where you're in scoring position and gave the other team the ball. And they start driving on you, but you know what? You answered, and you got a fumble. And a big-ass fumble return that set your offense up for a 13-yard, 3-play touchdown drive. So this touchdown by the Packers and this touchdown by the Packers, 2 of their offensive touchdowns were not really much offense whatsoever. That was the defense that shut them down, got you the ball in a good spot, the defense that got the big turnover and gave you 13 yards to get your score and tie the game. So I understand the defense was bad, but you also have to go back and look at the full game and look at some of those game-turning moments where the defense helped your ass out a lot.
You didn't show what happened at the start of the 3rd quarter.
Oh, what did I show? What did I do?
We didn't show. You didn't show the Packers going 3 and out because Aaron Rodgers was so hurt and grimacing after every single play. Oh no! What would have happened if Jordan Love would have came in earlier in this game? I think we would have won. But we gave up 2 possessions because our quarterback, even though at halftime he apparently got hurt in the first quarter or in the first half. So if he was hurt in the first half, why was he still out there in the second half?
I don't know. He's just so hurt. Let's just see.
Go back.
Well, you're right.
What did they do after the third? What did they do after the third quarter?
Deferred the kick. We deferred the kick, and so we got the ball right away, and we had 3 plays, -2 yards. Tried to run it on first down. What a dumb run, because it was to the outside, and then we tried to run it on second down, and got 1 yard because their Blankenship guy like flew up there because that guy was all over the damn place. Yeah. And then we got sacked for -5 yards, of course, because we get sacked. So yeah, and then we punted it, and then they got a touchdown drive, and then they're up 14. But then you had a long drive. You had to settle for the field goal. I agree with taking the points there because your offense had a long drive. If you went that whole long drive and then they only took the points because of the penalty, right? Because of the Yash's false start. Otherwise, they probably would have tried to go for it and not gotten any points. I agree with the field goal there. I think they should have taken it anyway because you had way too long of a drive. You're trying to answer back being 14 down. You needed to get it to that field goal and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion within that, I think, there. And then, they answer back with a field goal, and then you got some other plays, and Jordan Love does some stuff.
Jordan Love, yeah.
So there you have it. But yeah, I mean, look, I know a bunch of things that happened, but don't forget how big those 2 turnovers were, those 2 interceptions were in the first half, and also the stoppage on downs, which is basically a turnover by the defense for the Packers, getting them the ball, and the big fumble and great return by Quay Walker. Quay on the spot. That kid's made some plays, shows some athleticism. And those were opportunities. That's why I think I made a comment saying this defense, it's weird because they've given up this many points, but they're really kind of kicking butt in this game. Because I thought they were. They made a lot of great plays to help the team.
Dude, they gave up 360 some yards on the ground. How is that kicking butt? That's called getting your ass kicked.
They made those awesome plays that were game-changing plays. If you were going to tell me that they got a stop the Eagles on a 4th and 1, I don't care how it happened. If you're going to tell me they stopped the Eagles on a 4th and 1 at the Eagles 37-yard line and got a fumble recovery that they got the Packers offense all the way down to the 13-yard line, I would say that's a pretty good half by the defense. Both those things happened in the first half. So you got to look at the total picture, bro, and not bag on the defense the whole time. Do you expect
they gave up 360 yards freaking running? That's terrible.
Do you expect more? Who caused the fumble on the play as well? Do you remember?
Rudy Ford.
That's right, Rudy Ford. God. Best players in the Packers defense.
Rudy Ford. If you say the Packers did something good on defense, what was it? It was Rudy Ford most of the time. It was either him or Rasul Douglas. That's about it.
Or once in a while, Keyshawn Nixon gets out there. Like that screen pass play or whatever, he just attacked that stuff. So he was awesome. He just recognized it.
And what did he do? He went right past the offensive lineman and made the tackle. Unlike Adrian Amos, who doesn't do that.
He did what all the teams do to the Packers when they try to run it.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying when you watch all these other defenses, the way they play an attack versus the way a bunch of the Packers defensive players play, it's a stark difference. And so you should want different defensive players.
Well, then why are you saying the defense was good? You are crazy.
I'm not. Sucks. I'm saying they made some plays, bro, in the first half that helped the team out. Do you expect more from this defense? Do you expect more from this defense with its resources? Even with, the Gary injury is a big loss. We've seen that for sure. Gary injury is a huge loss.
I don't think it's that big. I think
it's a big loss because if he was out there more and Preston was out there less,
his pass rusher is better than Kingsley and Igbare's.
I know, but if you had more Kingsley and Igbare and less Preston and
they won't do that. They're dumb. They won't do that.
Anyway,
it's obvious they won't do that.
I understand that's a loss.
Listen,
Stokes is not a loss. Savage is not a loss.
In this game, specific players made plays.
Yeah.
But the defense as a whole was awful.
Well,
and it just proves that even though you have 2 or 3 guys out there who are trying and making things happen, they can only do so much when the other 8 guys stink or aren't doing anything or whatever the case is. Even though that's where all your money is at. Because right now, the guys who aren't making any money are the guys making all the plays.
That's true. 0 wanted to get Ndamukong Suh, huh? Yeah. He played hard in a couple plays.
I don't know. I wanted Ndamukong Suh.
I'd take him too.
I'd take him over Aaron Rodgers right now. Any day of the week.
All I want to say is this. I understand that there was so much expected from the defense, because of what a lot of people thought they were going to be coming in this year, and all the resources and money and picks and free agent guys and all that sort of stuff with big money. Okay. But do you expect more from them, or do you expect more from your $50 million a year quarterback?
I don't expect much from the $50 million a year quarterback because I know what he is.
Mm.
Do I expect more from a guy who makes $50 million a year on a team where he's the highest paid player and he makes 10 times the amount that his head coach makes? Yes. But I don't expect more from this quarterback because I know exactly what he is. He's a diva baby front runner who blames everybody else for all the mistakes. And for 5 or 6 weeks, we heard nothing about a broken thumb.
Right.
And then he plays a home game and he gets booed because he throws the ball like dog shit a couple times on a couple of plays that stop drives, and the fans boo him. And then all of a sudden, the next week, Aaron Rodgers is playing through a broken thumb. Really? Why didn't we hear about this all the time before that?
I like how his, talked about as a broken thumb, and then it was more specifically put as an occlusion fracture, right? So that's probably not nearly as severe as what most people's broken thumb would be, but you described it that way initially, and that's how it got labeled until it was more specifically defined.
If he had a broken thumb, he couldn't even grab he couldn't grip the
ball.
Yeah,
I was going to say, why do I see him high-fiving guys on the sideline then? He comes off, he's still high-fiving with his right hand, so it can't be bugging him that much.
Well, Mike Florio said something today, too. He's like, why is it that Aaron Rodgers had no throwing perfect strikes to Christian Watson against Dallas Cowboys the week earlier, and then all of a sudden, because he played like dog shit against the Titans, now he's got a broken thumb. That apparently happened a month and a half earlier, but nobody talked about, even though he could throw just fine. Now, of course, against the Lions, it wasn't a broken thumb that he threw a bunch of shitty ass balls. It was him jumping in the air and throwing it with no freaking good mechanics. It had nothing to do with his thumb. It was his legs weren't set. He's freaking throwing off his back foot. He's throwing it while his body's in the air, twisting through all over. He's just stupid. It's a bunch of crap. The guy's a diva baby. I hate him. I wish he wasn't there. And that's the end of it. I don't know. I'm telling you, if he's back next year, I'm done. I'm not doing this crap anymore. After this year, I'll do even the off season. I don't know. I just don't want to talk about it because he runs the team.
Yeah.
He runs the team. He runs it. They had a chance to get rid of his ass. I wanted him to. I talked about it for how long? I talked about it all freaking the first January and February. They freaking screwed up. Why? Because they're afraid, because they wanted to keep their jobs. They wanted to keep their jobs, and they thought, well, if we keep Aaron Rodgers, we couldn't be that bad. Oh, you're wrong. You're real bad.
Look, we freaked out as much as anybody when they first drafted Jordan Love, because at the time it seemed, mostly because it went along with contracts where they just signed him that big. Yeah, they signed him that big extension, and then you just drafted a guy, which made no sense. But you had a plan. You drafted the guy, and then you Aaron Rodgers said publicly, like you said too, he threw a wrench into their plans. Well, at some point, you got to stick to your plan. You got to believe in your plan. If you're running the organization, you're making all the decisions, personnel decisions for the organization, and you're connected to the coaching staff, and you guys have a plan, you got to have some confidence in that plan, or you shouldn't be in charge. So you can't let one guy ruin your plan. You can, if he gets mad and he wants to work harder and play well for a season or two, okay, you'll take that, but don't let that screw up your plan.
You know what else? They need to sit. I mean, if he comes back next year, doesn't retire or whatever the hell, they better sit his ass down, and he better be here in the offseason. That's part of your $50 million, jackass. Is that you're here for your team.
This is his last year, man. He's going to ride off into the sunset.
He would give up $86 million if he retire. Would he do that? He's got guaranteed $86 million or something like that.
They'll work out some kind of buyout, or they'll do something. He just doesn't even want to play football anymore. He doesn't.
I know he doesn't.
Does he ever look like he's enjoying it? Hardly at all.
I don't know, but I'm not enjoying watching him. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Rick said, it was nice to see a guy come out there in Jordan Love with some positive energy and, want to play and look like he was ready to go and just be decisive and make plays.
He looked good. I was impressed.
If And it was interesting because listening to Jordan Love after the game, somebody talked to him about the Kansas City game last year when he got a chance to start, right? And they blitzed the hell out of him, and the team wasn't ready for it. The offensive line couldn't handle it. He wasn't ready for it. The coaches couldn't figure out how to adjust. Whatever, which makes no sense. Like somebody should know how to adjust to that. But he said he went back after that and studied and figured, he's like, I know after seeing that, I got to be ready for stuff like that. So I went back and worked on all that stuff. So maybe, they've talked about him for a while, how much he works, how much he cares about it. He's been putting the time in. He's developed a lot. Look, those balls he threw, there's plenty of mustard on him. Like he was perfect on target, pretty much on target. Like, I don't know. That seems like could be competent quarterback play to me. But like somebody points out, I don't think he's going to sit around and ride the bench, for much longer if he's going to want to play football somewhere. So I don't know, but I really do think this is my last thing. I think reason why I think Aaron Rodgers will retire is because I also think Tom Brady will retire. And I think what will happen is Aaron Rodgers.
Then he plays second fiddle when he goes in the Hall of Fame. Why?
Yeah, but then guess what? When they'll talk about it as being the greatest Hall of Fame class in the history because of Tom Brady mostly, but then, and Aaron Rodgers, and then all the pictures with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers, he'll be second fiddle, but he'll be in everything. He'll be in all the headlines with Tom Brady.
No.
He'll be next to Tom Brady in a bunch of pictures.
No.
He'll be recognized by Tom Brady.
No.
Yeah.
Rodgers is a front runner. He likes to be in the front.
I know
if he went to the Hall of Fame the same year as Tom Brady, he would be in the back. Matter of fact, he'd be in the way, way, way back.
No, he won't. He'll be right next to him. It'll be his one chance to be in parallel with Brady. His one chance.
No.
Because otherwise, on the football scale and what he's accomplished, he's way behind. But it'll be his one time to be right there next to him. And he'll be in every picture he can be in, right next to Tommy Boy. That's why he'll do it. That's why I'm telling you, that's why he'll do it.
I'm going to say one thing. A lot of people are like Zero's talking about Carolina getting A-Rod. Is there any team in the NFL that would want to trade for this guy?
He doesn't. No.
Who would want this guy? Like, what are they going to give us? Like a 6th-round pick?
Yeah.
They would have done it this offseason because they would have been stupid. It'd been like, because the owner would be like, let's get him and make some money. But the other thing is this. He has to be a part of it. He wants, no one's going to trade for him if he doesn't want to play for him. So there might be a bunch of owners on crappy teams that want him on the team because they'll sell a bunch of tickets. But
right.
What would he be able to, but is there an actual halfway decent team that's a quarterback away that would want him?
I don't think so.
People are saying like the Jets and the 49ers, those two coaches their coaching staffs are Matt LaFleur's friends. You think they don't know what the hell he's been going through for the last couple of years? Not only that, they know the secret to beating Aaron Rodgers. Why would they know exactly what his issues are? Why would they be the two teams that would want him? They dominate Aaron Rodgers. The Jets dominated him. The 49ers keep dominating him. You're right. Roger 22 is correct. Rodgers will become, when he retires, he'll become a sidekick on Pat McAfee. That's how far down the loan he's going to go. He's going to be a sidekick guy on McAfee. AJ Hawk will be a higher up on him. AJ Hawk will be co-host. A-Rod will be one of the other guys, like just sitting behind the glass. Not even a guy in the front on the desks. He'll just be a behind the glass guy.
There's not many.
He's not clever enough.
There's not many like hour and a half podcast episode editions that are worse to sit through than the Hawkcast with Aaron Rodgers as his guest, because he was trying to get some, AJ Hawk by himself doing the Hawkcast was trying to get some traction. So he had his buddy A-Rod on as a guest to give him, a big star on. And it was terrible. It was, and it went on forever, and it was not good. It was boring and horrible. Anyway, so, all right. So that's kind of the plan for Rodgers. Retire, getting all the pictures with Brady. And then, you're right. The only teams that are going to want him are the bad teams that they'll help, a big name like that will help him.
And he's not going to want to go there.
No, but I don't think he wants to play anyway. He doesn't want to play anywhere. He doesn't look like
he's not going to walk away from $86 million. If I'll touch a guy's butt for $50 million, he'll certainly come back for $86 million.
I don't know, man. He's made a lot of money.
He will come back. He will come back.
He's got other ways.
He will sit.
He will
sit. He'll go away all off season, and the Packers will let him again, and he'll stroll right in and in the freaking training camp again, just like this past season. It'll be the same shit, and I will not be on the show because I will not be a Packer fan until he is gone. Because I am not going to sit through this shit again. I'm not going to. I want my team back. There was one quarter this last weekend where I was a Packer fan again, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Because Aaron Rodgers wasn't on. Why didn't he come back out to the sideline after he got his ribs looked at? He didn't come back out to support his team.
Talking to Fleet.
Interesting.
Yeah. He watched the rest of Jordan's play on the TV in the locker room.
Oh, I wish he'd watch it from his couch in California and never come back.
I would love him to come play for the Vikings. Go play for the Vikings. What
he's like Gollum, man.
If Aaron Rodgers came to play for the Vikings, do you have any thoughts that he would somehow magically finally win another Super Bowl? No, he hasn't done it for 12 years. Why would you think he'd win it anytime soon with another team? He won't. Especially if he's reunited with his good buddy Z. Oh yeah, that'll be good.
I don't know. I don't even care. Like, he can go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. That's fine. If he would, that'd be good. Here's the thing. Like, I hate him so much. I don't care if he went to the 49ers and won a Super Bowl. Great.
Yeah.
As long as you're no longer a Packer, because I don't want to see him as a Packer. Period. Which sounds terrible. And for all the freaking Aaron Rodgers Packer fans out there, and there's probably a bunch of fans who aren't from Wisconsin, who didn't grow up in Wisconsin and didn't grow up Packer fans for years and years and years, and who are younger than me and you, who Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback they've known their entire lives.
Yeah,
they're like, how can you possibly be talking like this? And I can be like, well, I can tell you why, because I've seen guys come and go who I loved, and I still love the Packers after the guys I love are gone. So I am certainly going to be a Packer fan and love the Packers after a guy I hate is gone. I can tell you that.
Hey, I had a thought. What if Aaron Jones goes to the Lions next year?
I don't know why they would want him.
They like to run the ball.
They already got the leading touchdown guy in the whole NFL.
Yeah, but come on, he's still Jamal Williams. He's not a difference maker.
That was funny. Somebody put a stat on. They're like, Aaron Rodgers leads the NFL touchdowns, even though the Packers are 4-8. What a crazy stat! And then somebody put on there like, yeah, it means nothing. Jamal Williams leads the NFL or leads rushing touchdowns, and he's a Lion. Doesn't matter. And it's true. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think it, I was thinking about it just because they like to run the ball. They also have basically the same offensive system. And then on top of that, Jones is great on artificial surface. So I don't know. Might be a nice way to end his career. He could team up with his, and he loves Jamal Williams, man. His good buddy Jamal Williams. They're good buddies.
Yeah, but I think Jamal Williams only signed a 2-year deal, so he's done after this year with the Lions too.
They might bring him back for one more year.
They probably will after he scores 12 touchdowns. Well, no, they won't be able to now. He scored 12 touchdowns. It'd be too expensive.
Nobody's signing Jamal Williams for any big money just because he scored a bunch
12 touchdowns. He's still.
It doesn't matter. He's still Jamal Williams, dude.
But Aaron Rodgers just got all these touchdowns this year. He leads the league in touchdowns. He's tied for 31st with 9 interceptions. So there's way more quarterbacks who have thrown more interceptions than him.
He's still a 39.3 QBR.
Well, I don't know what that means. I don't do the QBRs.
It means it's really low.
Well, yeah, he stinks. I don't know if you remember. There's a guy. His name is Ben Hafeman. He did his quarterback rankings this summer, and he had Aaron Rodgers at like number 11 or 12 or something. I should have had him lower. I should have had him at 20. Yes, I was wrong about Baker Mayfield. I think I had Baker Mayfield at like number 10 or 11. I guess he sucks. But everybody else I was pretty much right on, except for Derek Carr. He's been stinky too. But maybe he's stinky because he's got to keep throwing the ball to Devontae Adams all the damn time, because Devontae Adams is just wanting the ball. He's like, why am I even here? If I'm not getting the ball, why am I even here? Oh, that was a couple weeks ago. But he's the most dominant player Aaron Rodgers ever played with. Most dominant player he's ever played with, Devontae Adams. He's so
They were a
dominant.
good pair, though, right? They're a good selfish pair.
Yep, a couple of diva baby.
As long as they got theirs, right?
Yeah, that's all they care about.
I mean, if they won some games in the process, hey, that's a bonus. But as long as I get mine, hey, there we go.
And that's why my two favorite guys are Aaron Jones, who took way less money than he probably deserved, and Rasul Douglas, who took as much as he could. And then somebody asked him about why Jair is the best cornerback in the league, and he said, I don't know about that. And he'd be right. He was right when they asked him in the preseason, and he said, yeah, Jair. He's like, well, I don't know. That's what the stats say, even though they don't say that.
No, they don't at all. Jonathan points out, yeah, Jerry Jones would probably sign Aaron Jones anytime. That's true.
Yeah.
Be happy to have him. Ezekiel Elliott is not nearly as effective as he used to be, plus he's injured all the time. Yeah, they got to do better. But there are still some things to be excited about. Before we go, let's finish out exciting things. Ben, name me as many exciting things from this last game or the season to this point you can be excited about.
Here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about a lot of the new pieces on this team. Okay? Guys that are getting a shot to play, first, second year guys, or first year with the team. So you're talking Rudy Ford, Keyshawn Nixon, Christian Watson, DeGuara in his third year, but he's, that 1 year he's hurt the whole damn year, so I really don't count that. I like seeing DeGuara out there. John Runyon's been doing pretty good. Yash has been doing solid. You're looking at guys, the receiver, Dobbs. There's so many young players. Enigbare looks good.
Yep.
I mean, that's what excites me, is to see guys flying around, making plays, doing things that I wish the guys who made all the money were doing. It seems like they got paid and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever. I'm Jair. I'm not going to get involved in a running play. I'm just going to stand here and watch the guy run past me for a touchdown. No, I'm not excited about that. So that's what I would say. But mostly Christian Watson. I mean, when they drafted him, I was like, I remember this, but I said, he can't catch. But if he ever learned how to catch, he would be a Randy Moss type difference-making receiver. Well, he's proven he's a Randy Moss type difference-making receiver right now. And if he can catch, he might even be more than that, because he can actually block in the running game.
Yeah. Which
Randy Moss never did. And he never takes a play off, which Randy Moss always did. So this guy could be better than Randy Moss. Better than Randy Moss. That's something. So that's the biggest excitement, is actually seeing Christian Watson play receiver instead of just gadget guy, which is what they had him do the first couple games before he got hurt.
All because he dropped one pass.
Yeah. Wish they would do that when Aaron Rodgers throws one pick. Can we have him just become gadget quarterback? That'd be great. That'll never happen.
Yeah, Watson is and Watson is the right kind of player to fit this offense too.
Yep.
Because he's a field stretcher, but he can run the other patterns, and he's a guy that can get yards after the catch, like he's shown you over and over. And he blocks well. He's physical and big and blocks well. So I mean, he is a great fit for this offense.
He is already better than Davante Adams right now. Already way better than Davante Adams, especially in this offense. He has two things Davante Adams never, ever, ever in a million years had: speed and willingness to block in the running game. Davante Adams never blocked anybody in the running game. Not once in the history of his entire career did he block anybody in the running game. Just ask Aaron Jones. He'll tell you. So right there, he's already got 2 points in my book over Davante Adams. His hands are just as good as Davante's. Sucked. Rookies, and then got better. So hopefully he'll get better. But
he threatens the defense way more than Davante Adams.
He threatens the defense, and because of that speed, it actually he gets off the ball quicker, because the defense is so worried. They got to go, like, Davante has to do 25 juke moves just to get off the line. This guy doesn't have to do that, because the defense is so worried about one juke move. They got to go with him. They can't, they can't. If he did 2 juke moves, they're screwed. So they just like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll go with you, whatever. Where Davante, the guy just stands there. It's like Davante does 27 jukes, and then he goes, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll follow you over that way because you're slow and I can catch you. I don't know.
Yeah, the one sad thing that you pointed out, and I think Zero mentioned it earlier in the comments tonight too, is that Love had good rapport with Amari Rodgers as a receiver, and Amari Rodgers if you looked at him as a receiver and you took out the punt return stuff, and you looked at his preseason this year, and you looked at the game action he actually had, like he did some pretty good things as a receiver. So he should probably still be on this team as a receiver. And it might be a bet. Then if you had that moving forward with Jordan Love, you got these 3 rookies who are going to be on the team for sure next year, and you still had him. I mean, that'd be an interesting young receiving group for sure that has a lot of potential. But
I'll say this: the watcher just put a message in here about Dillon. Not sure if he's a starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and watch that game. Watch plays where A.J. Dillon got the ball when Aaron Rodgers is under center, and A.J. Dillon got the ball out of when he's a deep back set directly behind the center. Watch him run out of that formation, and then compare it to when he runs out of, shotgun. You have to be able to use your players properly, okay? Mm-hmm. Use your players for what they're best for. A.J. Dillon proved in that game, when they use him properly, he can run over some dudes and get some freaking touchdowns and stuff. But if you don't use him properly, which is what they've done most of the year, because Aaron Rodgers always wants to be in shotgun all the freaking time, or most of the time, then he's not going to be productive. Same thing of asking, you want to ask Alan Lazard to run a goal route? Ain't going to do you much good.
Right. Yeah.
But if you want to have him fake like he's blocking for a while and then sneak out, hey, that's a good play.
Yeah.
Do that every single time because the defense is going to expect him to block every single play.
Yeah. Well,
I guarantee he'll get away with 2 of them before they catch on.
And if you're running the ball more, then that works even better.
It worked against Dallas.
It works better when you're actually setting it up by running the ball, which has been what the team should do. Mm-hmm. And how they've won games when they ran the damn ball. It's just mind bending sometimes. But look, we'll see how it all plays out. I want to see if Jordan can play in the cold. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Now,
that's true.
In Utah, at Utah State, it got cold-ish up there for sure, but the college season never went this late into the year, so it's not the same as January in Green Bay. So we'll just have to see how damn cold it gets. But in terms of Jordan Love, I don't think they need to see him play. I want to see him playing games, but what are their alternatives unless they got an idea to pick up a veteran guy in the off season for having a quarterback for next year? If with the unknown that is Aaron Rodgers, I mean they're pretty much forced to pick up the 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Because of the unknown with Aaron Rodgers.
Who's going to sign? They don't have they couldn't sign somebody to be a quarterback.
Right.
Baker Mayfield, is that the guy you want? I don't want him. I thought he was okay, but apparently he's terrible. I mean, I'll take Gardner Minshew, but the Eagles got him entrenched as their backup, but they're not letting him go.
Dang it. Eagles are smart.
Well, they proved it the other night. They're pretty smart.
Picked up Linville Joseph and Dominican Sue, 2 guys that are better than some guys starting on our D-line.
All the guys starting on our D-line?
Hey, I think Jaron Reed might be close.
Yeah, maybe.
He was doing pretty. Hey, did you quickly before we go? Did you hear the players in their
25 minutes ago? You said quickly before we go.
No, in their intro, did you hear the players pronounce their names differently than the way everyone's been pronouncing them? A couple of the guys on defense.
Enagbare, yeah.
Enagbare. He said Enagbare.
Yeah.
And
Enagbare.
Rasul Douglas said Rasul. Rasul Douglas. That's what he said.
Well, Andy Herman will call him Rasul because that's what he always says.
Well, he said his name is
he's got to say
Rasul.
his name right. Rasul.
He said
all right, fine.
Rasul Douglas, and it was Enagbare. Unless they were just messing with us, but that's what they said on when the player going to introduce themselves. So heads up.
That one of the Eagles said their elementary school.
That's funny. I didn't hear that part.
Those guys, they just don't care anymore.
No, they don't. They don't really care about their colleges that much. That's for sure. I'm excited about.
Probably never even graduated.
That's true. I'm excited about Christian Watson too. I'm excited about a bunch of the rookies, like I've said. I'm excited about Keyshawn Nixon and Rudy Ford. So I want to see contracts to those guys. I want to see those top of the list in the offseason. I want to see it. Those are easy guys to sign too, especially if you don't know your cap situation. Sign those guys cheap, get them in here, lock them down for a handful of years. We can reboot at tight end. Tunyon, I like you, but you can go. Like some of these
No,
other
he's
guys,
gone.
like
Him, Lazard,
big dog.
see ya.
Let's get some young
Big
guys.
dog, get the crap out of here already.
We'll get some couple of young tight ends to go along with,
Jenkins. Sure, if he comes back at a reasonable price, if he wants,
he's got
tackle money. Bye.
Even though he just had his best block I've ever seen him have in that game that he got called for.
Yeah, well, they call his penalty, so it doesn't
help
help
much. Best block. That was his best block. Ever seen Jenkins? Never seen him block that well. That was amazing.
Well, and there's going to be probably a big competition for running back this offseason. Like, well, I can't think of any running back who wants to compete on the team with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, so I doubt it. Unless Rodgers don't come back, then there will be.
Well, everybody's thinking Kylan Hill. Everybody's thinking Kylan Hill was going to be, up next, and now that's not happening. So starting over there too.
Yeah.
Well, Zero wants to keep Tanyan. No, we can't. He's going to want too much money. Yeah, and he's not worth it.
He can't block. He falls on his face constantly.
They still threw him a couple of those. They wanted to set up a screen to him and some other in this game. I was like, come on, how have you not learned? Robert Tonyan is great running down the field. Robert Tonyan is terrible at starting from a dead stop. Why would you ever throw a screen to him?
The best Packer tight end from this season is not on the team anymore.
Who's that? Oh yeah.
Well, that's the sad part.
DeGuara might be.
I like DeGuara. He's good. I don't know if he's a tight end though. I think he's more of a fullback / run around, do stuff guy.
Well, he'll do whatever you ask him to do, so he's good. I'll take him.
Okay.
I'll take him. I mean, I think he can run the tight end, whatever they ask the tight ends to do. I think he can do it. He's just, they use him in a bunch of different ways, and he's a lot better blocking in space than any of the other guys, so they have him do that stuff more than the blocks in the line of scrimmage. Yep. So we'll see. Anyway.
They got stuff for the offseason. We still got 5 more games to watch. Them stink. So, I mean, the greatness of Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not giving up hope yet. They still. I'm telling you, those other teams lose, they're in. They still have a chance to get that 7th seed and play the Vikings and knock them out. Even if that's all that happens, if they play the Vikings and knock them out in the first round and then get their asses kicked, it's still a good season by my book. That would make the season all worth it, right? To me, it would.
They've lost 7 of their last 8 games. Think about that, Jason.
I want to go back.
You think they're going to win 5 in a row?
I do, because
they've lost 7 out of the last 8 games.
Because the opponents, it's the Bears. 3 of the opponents are the division: the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions. They can win all those.
They already lost to the Lions
and the Rams.
And they lost to the Jets, and they lost to the freaking Washington Commander Friars, and the Giants, and the Titans, and they all stink. But they kept losing to them.
And the Dolphins won't be smart enough to run against them.
They won't have to. You think these guys, Packers, are going to cover their freaking receivers?
Yeah, they'll be fine. Joe Barry will come up with something. He'll come up with something.
Yeah, it'll look just like the Vikings game in week 1.
I still want to go back to the
400 yards passing, and freaking Tyreek Hill or whatever is going to have like 300 receiving and 5 touchdowns. Watch. They'll put Rasul on him. Yeah, because I love Rasul, but there ain't no way you're going to cover Tyreek Hill.
Right, he should be covering Tyreek Hill. I do. I'd love to go back to one of Aaron Rodgers' comments after a couple weeks after they lost a couple games, where he was talking about how the preparation, everything needs to stay the same, because if it's good enough when we're 3-1, it's got to be good enough now. If we just do everything the same.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan has an interesting thing. Jonathan says run the table in losses. I'm telling you right now, I think there's a higher percentage of the Packers losing the next 5 games with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback than winning the next 5. If somebody said, "Hey, I want you to make a bet," you can bet, on either the Packers winning 2%. 5 games in a row with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, or losing 5 games in a row with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. I'd take lose 5 games in a row over winning 5 games in a row.
Wow. And then he retires and goes to the Hall of Fame with Tom Brady. All right. Sounds like a wiener, guys. Appreciate you. Be good. Stay good. Thanks, everybody, for chiming in, being around, hanging out, talking Packers. Look, remember, the Packers are not Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are the Packers. Aaron Rodgers one day will be gone, and the Packers will still be here. We can just only hope that day is sooner rather than later. Let's still before the 2023 season starts. That's what we all hope, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then we
I'm
can
hoping
just
it's really
enjoy
soon.
our team again.
It'll be nice.
It'll be nice.
But then
oh wait, he says he's open-minded, Ben, to Jordan Love getting some playing time if they're mathematically eliminated. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I heard that. I don't get.
I know, but I mean, is that exciting news or what?
I don't know. I just want to see Jordan Love come in and run the offense and like have him score like 30 points a game. And then explain it. And then I want to hear the explanation why have the reporters be like, why is it that you guys can score 30 points a game when Jordan Love is quarterback, when Aaron Rodgers is quarterback, he can't even throw for over 200, barely over 200 yards, if even 200 yards, then you're averaging 14 to 17 points a game. And then let's hear the reason for that. But I don't know. I want to see that happen. But right. I want to see it. I want to see Jordan Love play. I want to see what is going to happen. Any other team that would be 4-8 would make a change at quarterback sometime, probably before this, because that's usually the shakeup that you do, right? The shakeup you make is the one thing you can change that can have a huge effect on the team is you change the quarterback. But because you got a diva baby who won a Super Bowl 12 years ago, apparently you can't do that.
All right. Be good, everybody. We appreciate you. Take care.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Oh, wait. Friday night, before we go, I'm letting you know, Friday night for our radio show, we will have a Bears guest, Jerry Riles, who's kind of a Bears sports show guy from down in Chicagoland. He's going to join us for the last segment of our radio show on Friday. So we'll actually have a guest who knows something about the Bears. Will educate us a little bit. I know it's not that exciting of a game, but it's the oldest rivalry in the NFL.
I can already see it now. It's going to be 10 minutes of you and him just talking about Lucas Patrick for 10 minutes.
He didn't even know who Lucas Patrick is. He'll talk about Justin Fields. He likes Justin Fields.
He covers the Bears. He doesn't know who Lucas Patrick is?
No, because he got hurt right away. Poor Lucas.
Well,
that's why I don't believe in justice or the force anymore, because Lucas Patrick didn't deserve this crap that happened this year. Busted up thumb, busted up toe, and now he's done for the year. That sucks. Anyway, that's why the Bears have won more games, because LP hasn't been available. All right. Plus, they're not very good, but they're working on it. All right. We'll talk to you Friday night. Radio. See you later. Mr. Happy, did I treat you? Got to find